Hello, and welcome to a mind-boggling medical mystery. Today we're going on an incredible journey inside the human body to investigate a very long, very thin, and very sneaky creature. It's a type of parasite called the guinea worm. Now don't worry, you won't find these worms in the UK. They live in very specific, remote parts of Africa. A parasite is an organism that lives on or inside another creature, called a host, and gets its food from it. The guinea worm is one of the longest parasites known to infect humans, and it has a truly astonishing life story that we're going to unravel together. So what does this worm actually look like? Imagine a piece of cooked spaghetti, but much, much longer. A fully grown female guinea worm can grow up to 1 meter long. That's about the length of a guitar. They are white, thin, and look a bit like a noodle. These worms have been bothering people for thousands of years. Scientists have even found evidence of them in ancient Egyptian mummies. They are also sometimes called the fiery serpent because of the burning feeling they cause when they are ready to come out of a person's body. It's a name that perfectly describes the horrible sensation it creates. Guinea worms don't just pop up out of nowhere. Their life cycle is cleverly connected to water. The story begins in ponds and other sources of still unclean water. In this water live tiny little creatures called water fleas, which are so small you'd need a microscope to see them properly. These water fleas are like tiny swimming dots. The baby guinea worms, which are even smaller and are called larvae, get eaten by these water fleas. The larvae then live and grow inside the water fleas, waiting for their chance to find a new home, which is, unfortunately, inside a person. This whole process is a brilliant, if a bit gross, survival strategy for the worm. It needs both the water fleas and a human to complete its life cycle. Without the tiny water fleas, the worm larvae couldn't survive in the water. And without people drinking that water, the larvae would never have the chance to grow into the giant spaghetti-like worms we've been talking about. It's a chain of events where each step is crucial. Understanding this chain is the key to breaking it and stopping the worm from causing trouble, which is exactly what amazing scientists and health workers are doing right now. Now for the big question, how does this meter-long spaghetti monster get inside someone's body? Well, it's surprisingly simple, and it all starts with a drink of water. Imagine you are very thirsty on a hot day in a village where there are no taps with clean, running water. You might go to the local pond to get a drink. If that pond has water fleas carrying the baby guinea worm larvae, and you scoop up some of that water and drink it without filtering it, then you've just swallowed the water fleas. You wouldn't see them, taste them, or feel them at all. Once inside your stomach acid gets to work breaking down the water fleas. But this is exactly what the baby guinea worm larvae have been waiting for. The acid dissolves the water flea, setting the larvae free inside your body. It's like they've just been let out of a tiny cage. From your stomach, these tiny worms then begin an incredible journey. They are now officially unwanted guests, ready to start growing and preparing for the next stage of their life. It's a sneaky invasion that happens without the person even knowing it. You might be thinking, will I feel sick straight away? The answer is no. For a very long time after swallowing the larvae, the person feels completely normal. They can run, play, and go to school, just like any other day. This is part of what makes the guinea worm so tricky. The larvae are silent travelers. They move from the stomach, through the wall of the intestine, and into the body's tissues. The person has no idea that one or more worms are secretly growing bigger and bigger inside them. It's like a secret agent on a very long mission. This silent phase can last for a whole year. That's right, for about 10 to 14 months, the worm just grows and matures inside the person's body. During this time, the male and female worms find each other and mate. The male worm then dies, but the female, full of thousands of new baby larvae, continues her journey. She needs to get those babies back into the water to start the cycle all over again. Her mission is to find a way out, and that's when things start to get a lot more noticeable and a lot more painful for her human host. After about a year of growing in secret, the pregnant female worm knows it's time to make her grand exit. She starts to move, usually downwards through the body's tissues. Her favorite exit route is through the legs and feet. Why? Because legs and feet are most likely to go into water, which is exactly where she needs to release her babies. As this meter-long worm travels, the person might start to feel unwell. They might get a slight fever, feel a bit sick, or develop a rash. These are the first clues that something is not right inside. The worm's journey towards the skin is slow and deliberate. As she gets closer to the surface, the real trouble begins. The person will start to feel a very painful, hot, burning sensation in the spot where the worm is about to emerge. It's this fiery feeling that gives the guinea worm its nickname, the fiery serpent. A few days later, a painful blister, about the size of a 5-pence coin, will form on the skin, usually on the foot or lower leg. This blister is the worm's exit door, and it's filled with a clear fluid that also contains the worm's larvae. The burning pain from the blister is intense. It feels like your foot is on fire. The only thing that makes it feel better is to put it in cool water. When someone with a guinea worm blister puts their foot into a pond or river to soothe the pain, they are doing exactly what the worm wants. As soon as the blister touches the water, it bursts open. The worm then pokes the end of its body out of the sore and releases a milky white cloud containing thousands and thousands of new baby larvae into the water. Mission accomplished for the worm. This is the clever and painful climax of the worm's life inside a human. By causing such an intense burning feeling, the worm essentially tricks its human host into helping it. The person gets relief from the pain, but in doing so they contaminate the water source. Those newly released larvae will now swim around, waiting to be swallowed by water fleas. And if another person comes along and drinks that unfiltered water, the whole horrible cycle will begin all over again. It's a perfect but painful circle of life for the parasite. So what happens once the worm has started to come out? You can't just pull it. Because the worm is so long and fragile, pulling it would make it break inside the body. A broken worm can cause a huge and very painful reaction, making the person even more ill. So, doctors and health workers use a very old, very slow, and very careful method. They have to gently wind the worm out, just a few centimeters each day, around a small stick or a piece of gauze. It's a bit like slowly reeling in a fishing line. This process is agonizingly slow. It can take weeks or even a month to get the entire meter-long worm out of the body. Every single day, the person has to have the wound cleaned to stop it from getting infected, and then the stick is given a few more careful turns. While the worm is being removed, the person is in a lot of pain and can't walk, work, or go to school. Imagine having to do this every day for 30 days. It takes a lot of patience from both the patient and the health worker to make sure the worm comes out in one piece. The best way to deal with guinea worm, though, is to stop people from getting it in the first place. And the secret weapon in this fight is something very simple: clean water. Health organisations have worked tirelessly to teach people in affected villages about the guinea worm life cycle. They explain that drinking water from ponds can be dangerous. They provide special cloth filters or filter straws that can be used to strain out the water fleas before drinking. It's such a simple idea, but it's incredibly effective at breaking the worm's life cycle. And the good news? It's working! This amazing public health campaign has been one of the most successful ever. Back in the 1980s, there were millions of cases of guinea worm disease across many countries. But today, thanks to the hard work of scientists, health workers and volunteers, we are incredibly close to wiping it out forever. In 2023, there were only 13 human cases in the whole world. Soon, the Guinea worm will be a thing of the past, a nasty parasite that we only read about in history books. And that is a truly brilliant bit of medical science.